so no regret. Happy before we get another day to do it all again. Oh, we're throwing open all the curtains wide. Oh, not gonna miss a thing. Oh, love is promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well before we break. In the sun, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Hold it in the sun, all of the best yet to come. Hold it in the sun, don't know what you got till it's gone. Hold it in the sun, all of the best yet to come. Throwing open all the curtains wide. Not gonna miss a thing. Nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well before we break.
I'm Nancy. Thanks for being here. Look, I got Rudolph earrings. They actually look like a puppy with antlers. I don't know if you can see close enough. They look like puppies with antlers. Santa puppies or something. Okay, so I ran over myself. I really did. I overbooked myself. I was cleaning my basement. I got my bike put together. I was riding it yesterday. It's so cool. And then my husband called and went on video chat. And I had to take it down off the stand so he could see the cross member, the little pin that you have to put through the back wheel and do a power lock. And then put it on the, mount it up on the thing. And then it's got another lock that locks it like that. It's real big. Because we were wondering, the question there was, since I have a quick release on my back wheel, do I need to change that pin out every time I take it off of the mounted stationary bike rack to ride my bike outside? Because it's 60 degrees outside. I could be riding outside today. But since my bike's mounted up, I ain't going to unmount it just to, because I got too much to do. Okay, because I got to be out of here by 3 today. And with what happened this morning, it's possible. But I only had 2 people comment on yesterday's video. That was both my moderators, Amanda Panda and H. Davis. Okay? So I have 2 names on this wheel. I want to fill this wheel up. I want to spin it. I can't spin it tomorrow. I might not be able to spin it tomorrow. She didn't tell me what I got to do. I have somebody that's probably going to request my tomorrow, but I don't have to go to Hutchinson. Just have to go to Wichita. Anyway, so anyway, I want to fill this up with names. Nobody commented on my video yesterday other than H. Davis and Amanda Panda, both my moderators. I'd like to see everybody comment. Hold on. I'm getting a message from the Navy. It's on this phone. It can wait. I don't know anybody in the Navy. Medical engineering. Oh, they're offering me a job. Now, I don't know anything about medical engineering, so I don't qualify for that job. Okay, so that's not me. I'll stick. I should learn not to use this elbow, this shoulder. So anyway, so I'm getting things ready for today. We have this case that we're covering throws me a bam right in the face first thing this morning. I tried to contact my moderator, but apparently her phone died or something because I couldn't get a hold of her to find out if I needed to go live at 10 o'clock this morning because I'm like, this is blowing my mind. So I waited. So I decided I was going to put together some bookcases. Well, Butch calls me and needs me to meet him shortly after 4 o'clock in Hutchinson. CJ will get home about 3:15. He can help me with the project I need to do to be able to go to Hutchinson and be in Hutchinson by 4 or 4:30. Okay? So I got it, providing I get a message back from Hutchinson telling me to come to Hutchinson. Okay? So it's, I got to go do this if I have to go do this. And anyway, so, and then tomorrow, my best friend in Wichita might need me. She wanted me to come today because her husband's going to Arkansas, and I guess she don't like to stay by herself or something. I don't know what. She might be having a bad day and need her best friend. We've been best friends since we were 12 years old. And so I might have to go to her house. If I have to go to her house, I can't do the drawing tomorrow. But I'll do it Monday. Ain't no names going to change between tomorrow and Monday unless more people comment on tomorrow's video or today's video. Okay? Because I went and checked yesterday's video and apparently the comments weren't turned on. Let me view it on YouTube and make sure the comments are turned on. There's chat. Comments are on. Okay. All right. So people can comment on today's video. Ever how many comments I get. If I'm not able to be here tomorrow at 3, you'll know by 10 o'clock in the morning. If I have a live scheduled for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, then I'll be doing the drawing tomorrow. If I don't have the live scheduled for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, then I'll catch you on Monday. Because what happened on this case? I haven't said that we're going to go over the Commonwealth recap from yesterday, but I think I'm going to skip that because we would be finding out what we're about to find out right now. I'm going to go to Court TV. And then I got, you can't see it because everything's in black for some reason. And I have a black chair sitting there. I got Timu to go through today. All right, so let's go to, how's everybody doing today? Oh, I didn't finish my story. So I was going to put together bookcases. I was on the phone with Butch. Then Sheena starts messaging me. I had to message Henry to find out if I'm going to Hutchinson this evening. I'm still waiting on a reply for that. Then Butch is going to be in Hutchinson, so he wants me to bring him some stuff, providing I'm going to Hutchinson to see Henry. He doesn't want me driving all the way to Hutchinson to turn around and drive all the way back for no reason. Okay? So, because he can go get a can opener in Hutchinson. He's going to be riding his bike. He can ride to Walmart and go get a can opener. Okay, but he'll just miss out on the freezer food where I've been cooking meals at home and then putting them in the freezer for him for next time. So, and then I started putting together this bookcase, and I looked at Sheena started messaging me. I looked at the camera. It was 5 minutes till time for me to go live. I can't start putting together a bookcase. Hey, Amanda Panda, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, so I can't start putting together the bookcase because I wouldn't have had time. I got the box open. That's it. I'll put it together tomorrow if I have time, or tonight when I get back from Hutchinson if I go. I don't know. Anyway, so then she asked me what I'm doing tomorrow, and I said I can make tomorrow free if I need to. The only thing I need to do is at 3:00 I need to do my live if I'm home. So other than that, then if I don't go to Hutchinson tonight, I'll put together the bookcase tonight, and then I'll start moving stuff out of my RV garage into the house, and I can take the item that's got to go to Hutchinson. If I go tonight, we can put that out in the RV garage. CJ can help me do that. Get it out in the RV garage. It'll be ready to go on the 18th. I can put it in the truck on the 17th, and then on the 18th when I go to Hutchinson, that's already scheduled for me to go to Hutchinson, then I can take the couch to Hutchinson then. Okay? I'm running over myself, and I'm the person that if somebody needs me, I'm going to be there. I'll do the best I can to be there. No matter what I'm planning to do, no matter what I'm doing, I will drop what I'm doing and go do what somebody else. That's the way I was raised. Sorry. This is my first cup of coffee from when I was on the phone with my moderator this morning. It is this full right here. My first cup of coffee from this morning. I'm still drinking it. All right, let's get into this. I wonder, Amanda Panda, should I put your name on a second time because you're here 2 days in a row? I'm going to do it. That's not going to give you more favoritism or nothing like that. It's just you were here both days. I'm sure we'll run into H. Davis later when he gets home from work. What color you want today? You're green yesterday. You got red, blue, black, or yellow. And then I'm going to give away some more. I got 5 more memberships I can give away here in a minute. Okay, whenever you pick a color, if you walk past your computer and happen to catch up with me, you'll see. Okay, blue. Okay, we'll go blue. See, I told you. I knew. Now I'm going to put you blue across from the green so that you're not side by side. Okay? Amanda Panda. My A's look like 2s. All right, you're on there. Good job. All right, now let me see about, I guess I have to go on I guess I got to do it on my phone. All right, let me get membership gifting. I should have 5 more. Well, I don't have 5 more. I gifted 5 yesterday, and I was supposed to have 10. All right. Okay. Well, you're laughing at me. Oh, crying. Okay. Super sticker, super chats. My super chat's going like this. Membership gifting. Okay. I'm not going to pay $15 right now. Next month, I should be able to give all 10 of them out. But I think it's because it's so close to the end of this. Well, it's right in the middle of the month. I mean, I should be able to. But, oh well, I'll figure it out. I might have to do that before I go live or something. Okay. So anyway, go back up here. We'll see who's comment. There we go. All right. Let's go to what's happening. You can probably see. Oh, let's make this larger. You're right. The defense. Well, let me go back down. All right, I'm going to Hutchinson today. All right, Brian Walsh declines to testify. The defense will not present a case. What do you think? I'll tell you what, in a minute.
Going to take the stand, and there will be no defense case. That's right. He's not taking the stand, and the defense isn't calling any witnesses whatsoever. Let's go back into the courtroom now together, where this was announced moments ago.
All right. At the close of yesterday's day, the defense raised with me what I have listed as 5 separate issues that it wanted to alert the court to with regard to the expected testimony of Mr. Walsh today. As an initial matter, does the defense still intend to call Mr. Walsh today?
On it. Watch the judge. What he's about to say to her, you're going to think she's going to fall down. Hold on just a minute.
We do not.
You do not? All right. Does that moot every issue that I researched last night?
I apologize, sir.
No, I just want to make sure that...
All right, let me back it up because I paused it right in the middle. She's going to ask him.
You do not?
Hold it. I didn't talk about it.
We do not.
Of Mr. Walsh today. With regard to the expected test.
Okay, I'm going to turn it up. Now listen.
Testimony of Mr. Walsh today. As an initial matter, does the defense still intend to call Mr. Walsh today?
We do not.
You do not? All right. Does that moot every issue that I researched last night?
I apologize, sir.
No, I just want to make sure that the 5 issues that you raised and the issue with regard to the plea are no longer on the table. All right. I will conduct a colloquy with the defendant then now.
Did you hear that? The defense is not going to put Brian on the stand. Everything that he was talking about yesterday, which we didn't see that part, okay? Everything that they brought up yesterday that they wanted to discuss today in bringing in witnesses and everything, they dropped it. The defense dropped their case. Let's see what's going to happen.
And my intention is the defense intend to call any other witnesses.
We are not.
All right, then we'll close tomorrow. We'll do the charge conference immediately after the rest of the day. Let me just put in the record, so the record is complete. The Commonwealth previously, and I ruled on this at the side of the bench previously, the Commonwealth previously asked this court to exclude the defendant's plea of guilty. And I guess the only way that would come in at this point is if he were testifying. But I just want to put in, to the extent that I previously disallowed the defendant to go there with any other witness, and I frankly don't recall if I have previously, I want to put in the reason why I excluded that testimony now. The Commonwealth did file a motion in limine to exclude evidence that the defendant pled guilty to misleading the police into Ana Walshe's disappearance and improper disposal of her body. After consideration, I allowed and still am allowing the Commonwealth's motion for 2 reasons. First, the defendant has failed to show how such evidence is relevant to the remaining charge of murder. And I specifically acknowledge that I read this morning the defense's motion to admit the evidence of his guilty plea, which has been docketed as 216. That was filed on December 11th, 2025, this morning, I believe. I have read it, but it doesn't do anything more than to set forth the elements of the crimes of murder. Based on defense counsel's opening statement, it appeared that the defendant was going to testify in this trial. And at that time, he could have made reference to his plea if I so allowed him to. But whether or not he is charged or pled guilty to such actions relating to his prior plea of guilty before this court is irrelevant to whether he murdered his wife. Second, the inclusion of the evidence of the defendant's guilty plea on the two charges would risk the introduction of extraneous factors as part of the jury's consideration on the murder charge. As explained by the SJC in Commonwealth versus A Juvenile, 396 Mass 108, 112, it's well established that a jury's verdict must be based solely on the evidence in the case without regard to the possible consequences of their decision. And there's a specific instruction in my draft jury instructions that addresses this. Continuing with this case, the role of the jury is to make findings of fact and determine the guilt or innocence of the accused without regard to probable punishment. To inform jurors of a sentencing consequence of their verdicts is to invite a results-oriented verdict and possible deviation from the basic issues of the defendant's guilt or innocence. I also cite to Commonwealth versus Sanchez, 70 Mass Appellate Court, 699-701, 2007.
Okay, basically she's going through and telling them what she looked up on the 5 things that he talked about earlier, that there's not going to be any need for. So, but Brian Walsh will not testify. The defense will not present a case. So today when we got to court,
you can grab yours now.
oh shoot. I had this all set up. Whoa.
Your Honor, for the record, the defendant's present in the courtroom.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, at the close of yesterday's day, the defense raised with me what I have listed as 5 separate issues that it wanted to alert the court to with regard to the expected testimony of Mr. Walsh today. As an initial matter, does the defense still intend to call Mr. Walsh today?
We do not.
You do not? All right. Does that moot every issue that I researched last night?
I apologize, Judge.
No, I just want to make sure that the 5 issues that you raised and the issue with regard to the plea are no longer on the table. All right. I will conduct a colloquy with the defendant then now, and my intention is to defense intend to call any other witnesses.
We are not.
All right, then we'll close tomorrow. We'll do the charge conference immediately after the rest of the day. Let me just put in the record, so the record is complete. The Commonwealth previously, and I ruled on this at the side of the bench previously, the Commonwealth previously asked this court to exclude the defendant's plea of guilty. And I guess the only way that would come in at this point is if he were testifying. But I just want to put in, to the extent that I previously disallowed the defendant to go there with any other witness, and I frankly don't recall if I have previously, I want to put in the reason why I excluded that testimony now. The Commonwealth did file a motion in limine to exclude evidence that the defendant pled guilty to misleading the police into Ana Walshe's disappearance and improper disposal of her body. After consideration, I allowed and still am allowing the Commonwealth's motion for 2 reasons. First, the defendant has failed to show how such evidence is relevant to the remaining
Okay, let me pop in here with this. The jury still has to decide. They're fixing it. I watched this whole thing. For some reason, YouTube went out on my Roku TV upstairs. It's got Roku built in and everything works. My Hulu and all that stuff works. But my Roku or my YouTube stopped working. I can hook a Roku to that TV, but with the way it's sitting up on the mantle above my fireplace, I'm afraid the TV would fall if I tried to do it by myself, so I need help. Okay, so anyway, neither here nor there. I turned it on downstairs while I was riding my stationary bike and talking to my husband on the phone, and I had an eBay sale and I was getting the item ready to packaged up for the eBay sale, all that stuff. So I listened to it. I know what's fixing to happen here. And the jury will have to still determine whatever they're supposed to determine. This whole day is, most of it is going to be arguing back and forth over how she has the jury's instructions written. The Commonwealth wants certain things taken out. The prosecution wants certain things put back in. The Commonwealth wants other things put back in, and they're arguing. Basically, the Commonwealth was arguing back and forth. He said, she said, and they want the judge to put it all into the jury's instruction. The jury's instructions.
Remaining charge of murder. And I specifically acknowledge that I read.
I don't know how, I haven't figured out, because they'll talk about later the sudden unexpected death part of the previous testimony we've heard. And you were sitting here with me. We were all sitting here. We saw the person on the stand testifying what sudden unexpected death was. It can come from a heart attack. It can come from, there's several different factors that can lead into this, okay? But because this was brought in by the defense and not by the prosecution, I don't know if they could still allow that to be in there as part of the testimony that was given by the person that was up on the stand. I haven't figured that out. Can he still be charged with murder? Can they find him guilty of murder if, do they know she's even dead? She could just be hid out somewhere. He could have her hidden out somewhere.
This morning, the defense's motion to admit the evidence of his guilty plea, which has been docketed as 216. That was filed on December 11th, 2025, this morning, I believe. I have read it, but it doesn't do anything more than to set forth the elements of the crimes of murder. Based on defense counsel's opening statement, it appeared that the defendant was going to testify in this trial. And at that time, he could have made reference to his plea if I so allowed him to. But whether or not he is charged or pled guilty to such actions relating to his prior plea of guilty before this court is irrelevant to whether he murdered his wife. Second, the inclusion of the evidence of the defendant's guilty plea on the two charges would risk the introduction of extraneous factors as part of the jury's consideration on the murder charge. As explained by the SJC in Commonwealth versus A Juvenile, 396 Mass 108, 112, it's well established that a jury's verdict must be based solely on the evidence in the case without regard to the possible consequences of their decision. And there's a specific instruction in my draft jury instructions that addresses this. Continuing with this case, the role of the jury is to make findings of fact and determine the guilt or innocence of the accused without regard to probable punishment. To inform jurors of a sentencing consequence of their verdicts is to invite a results-oriented verdict and possible deviation from the basic issues of the defendant's guilt or innocence. I also cite to Commonwealth versus Sanchez, 70 Mass Appellate Court, 699-701, 2007. While the defendant here is not seeking to enter evidence of the possible consequences of a guilty verdict on the murder charge, the rationale behind the holding an a juvenile applies with equal force. If the defendant, a defense was permitted to tell the jury that he pled guilty to the two lesser charges, there is a risk, substantial risk, that the jurors will consider the defendant's impending punishment on those charges when determining his guilt on the remaining murder charge. Indeed, the defendant has not offered any other rationale for the entrance of such evidence. And as was stated in Commonwealth versus Ferreira, 373 Mass 116-124, 1977 case, the jury's function is not to weigh possible verdicts with an eye towards dispensing mercy in certain cases or imposing heavier penalties in others. Rather, the jury's function is solely one of fact-finding with respect to the legal standards regarding innocence or guilt. Accordingly, the defendant is not permitted and has not been permitted to put evidence before the jury of his prior guilty pleas in this matter. And Madam Clerk alerted me to also file this morning 321, pause, the Commonwealth supplemental motion to eliminate to exclude evidence of the November 2025 guilty plea, which I will concede I did not read because I just got it when I stepped on the bench, but I'm not sure it makes a difference in light of my ruling.
Moot at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, is 216 something you filed earlier? Why does it have this number?
No, that's my error, Judge. That's my error. I corrected it on the original. It should be 318. It's my poor vision.
Okay. So just so the record's clear, when I said a moment ago, I did review what the defendant filed this morning. It's just not 216, it's 318. All right, on the docket. All right, I see that I have two other pleadings up here, which I will address in brief. One of them I was going to address anyway, in substance, maybe not exactly as it's presented. Those are items number 319 and 320. Let me talk about 319. I haven't read it either. It's a motion to prevent the Commonwealth from basically, I believe, an Attorney Tipton, you can, or Porges, you can illuminate me greater, but you don't want them saying he promised you something in the opening statement that he didn't deliver.
That's right, and after consulting with the Commonwealth this morning, they have no intention. They told us they have no intention of doing that.
So I have already pulled out some case law on this and where the boundaries are, and I was going to give it to you in the charge conference anyway to make sure that you were aware where the boundaries are. The SJC has spoken on this issue of what's permissible and what isn't. The Commonwealth is allowed to get into it a little bit. I will alert you to those cases, and that's where I intend to draw the line as to what's permissible. I probably have.
Okay. You're all right. So, do you know that, did you see what we saw at the beginning? Oops, wrong person. Wrong person. Okay. Did you see what happened at the very beginning? Let me back us up. With red rum, right. Okay. So right now what they're
I'll
doing,
give those to you so you both have the benefit of my research.
right now what they're doing is going through and determining how she's going to be able to write excuse me, what the jury has to say about what, okay? So this woman and this man are going to be arguing back and forth amongst each other and placing their argument towards the judge. You did this wrong. You need to write it this way. 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 Like, grow up, grow up, grow up, you know? So anyway, but the jury will still have to testify
On that issue.
Oh, by the way, I will not be here tomorrow. I just got the message from Wichita that I need to be in Wichita tomorrow. My best friend is out going through a depression, and she needs me to help her come help her clean her house. Okay.
The other motion, 320, is I expect the defense will renew after I bring in the jury, ask you if you're going to present any evidence, and you will rest. And I'll.
Yeah, no, he's still being charged with red rum. And I don't know how he can be charged with red rum. They cannot prove he said he rolled her and she was not breathing. She fell off the bed. He knew something was wrong. He panicked. Okay? He admitted that she's not alive. But he doesn't have to say where she's at. He doesn't have to testify where she's at so that an autopsy can be performed. You know, if I had red rum hanging over the top of my head because I had hidden my husband's body because I got scared when he oh please, military. If I got scared when my husband died, passed away, whatever you want to say, and I didn't tell anybody where I hid his body, but I'm going to tell the judge and tell the attorney and tell the whole country that he's not alive, but I'm not going to tell anybody where he's at. If letting the country and letting the judge and letting the jury know where my husband is so that an autopsy can be performed on my husband to prove that I did not unalive him, you better darn tootin' believe I'm going to tell everybody where he's at. I'll be the first. I'll take you to him. And I'll give you the shovel that I used to dig the hole that he's in. It's just that simple. That's what I would do.
Here at the side of the bench with regard to that. So now, I do want to conduct a colloquy with the defendant at this point.
Would you like him sworn, Your Honor?
Hold on a second, because I'm not sure I have my colloquy with me on the bench, despite the fact that I have quite a few binders here. I think the one I need is in my office, so stay tuned. Nobody move.
I was going to email this to you.
Welcome to Zoom Government.
I think that goes back to his previous charge. He should not be taking and saying where she is, but at this point, he did so much damage to the remains, it could still be seen as he did it. You've got a good point. The fact that he admitted that he dismembered her He did do that, and that is a felony. He could go up on that charge right there. Either way, he's not going to be seeing his babies, his 3 tiny little boys, 9, 7, and 6-year-old boys. He's not going to see them until they are adults in at least 9 or 10 years. I'd be doing everything I could. I would. My kids come first. Of course, they're all adults now. That's not me. That's them not wanting us to hear what's going on the TV, plus on the channel. Plus, he didn't care about their well-being from the. No, I agree. He did not put those children first. Not at all.
I think so.
Enter your participant. Please enter the meeting code.
They're setting up a Zoom call.
The meeting has not started.
Oh, yeah.
Please wait or try again later.
Was
He took the child shopping for red rum cleanup supplies. You're right. You're right. All right, I'm gonna see if I can. Edward! I don't know what. Let alone the lack of ability to provide medical care when she was out of state due to being on house arrest. Right, right. And now the children are ward of the state, even though they're with either grandma or auntie or somebody. The children are still a ward of the state. Now, I don't know if they're with grandma, because grandma just got found guilty of charges from the landlord of the house that's
Jurors entering.
Okay, jury's entering. Yes, those children are better off.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons have anything to do with the Honorable Diane Fernandez, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court. For your attention, you may be heard. Let's have a call from Massachusetts. It is on the court. Please be seated. Please turn off your cell phones.
Morning, jurors.
Morning.
Jurors, we'll start today with the 4 questions. Jurors, were you able to comply with my order that you not speak to anyone about this case?
Yes.
Yes. Were you able to comply with my order that you not do any research about the case?
Yes.
Were you able to comply with my order that you not go on any social media or access any news media?
Yes.
still all have open minds?
Yes.
With those 4 questions all answered in the affirmative, we're ready to begin today's work. Does the defense wish to call any witnesses in this case?
We do not, Judge.
Defense rests?
Defense rests.
All right. I'll see counsel at the side of the bench.
Now he's writing notes down for his attorney? Mister, you just basically what you did by refusing to get on the stand was said, put me behind bars. I don't care anymore. Lock me up and throw away the key. Stick me next to Brian Koberger. I think we'd be good friends. Did anybody notice that yesterday Donna Adelson was moved out of the prison that she was in down into a prison in Miami? I didn't look into it. I didn't figure out what was going on, but she is no longer in the prison where she was in northern Florida. She is now down in Miami, closer to her family. Let's say money talks and BS walks, okay?
Another chapter of
Ever wondered why you should get an LLC with a third party? As business owners, we can't waste any time. And that's the
book has just closed.
It's only going to be a minute because if I fast forward any, it's going to go into what's before she starts talking to the jury. And had to look at these. Aren't they so pretty? I was thinking about making earrings out of them. But they don't all match. See, they're like all different. Except for the 2 in the middle and the bottom, they match. This one right here would have a mate, but I took it off and used it.
So jurors, I think I've referred to the trial as I sort of see it as different chapters of the book. And another chapter of the book has just closed. And that is that all the evidence in the case has now been presented to you. I remind you at this time, jurors, and I reminded you of this at the close of yesterday, the defense has no burden in this case. And has no burden to produce any evidence at all. And that's because, as you probably are all very well aware at this point, the burden lies on the Commonwealth to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt, and it never shifts from the Commonwealth. All right? So what happens next? What happens next is the next chapter we're going to go to as we move towards your deliberations is that really 2 things that happens interspersed. I'll explain. The 2 things that need left to be done is I need to give you my jury charge, my legal instructions to you. And then you need to hear closing arguments of counsel, right? So the way that happens is I will give you, when we next reconvene, which is going to be tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I will give you instructions on the law that's specific to the charge that's primed here, the crime that is charged here, murder. Then the lawyers will do their closing arguments. And then I come back and give you additional instructions. I call them more generalized instructions. So those two parts of the trial happen interspersed. A little instruction, argument, more instruction. That's going to happen tomorrow morning. And I try to be as transparent as I can in my cases. The reason for that is I don't just pull these instructions out of the ether, as you might imagine. There are instructions and guide instructions. And there, I get the input from the lawyers on what they're seeking. And that hasn't happened yet because we've moved at a pretty efficient pace. So I need to do that work with the lawyers today, and I will. And that's what we'll be doing today. What you'll be doing today is getting some rest and some sleep so you can be all rested for tomorrow morning. And I remind you, jurors, I'm going to send you off for the day. I remind you what I just checked in with you. Counting on you to be obedient to those rules right to the end, right? Jurors, don't speak to anyone about this case. Don't do any research about this case. Stay off of any social media, news media, and continue to have open minds as we finish these last chapters of this trial. Have a great day.
All rise in court, please. Jurors, close your notebooks and follow me.
Thank you.
Couple of housekeeping things. Yesterday at the side of the bench, we had a discussion about, during Mr. Mootlu's testimony, in which I asked that a certain document be marked as, I think it was M or N for identification. Madam Clerk, which was it?
N, I believe. The hammer?
No.
Oh, the other one was N, Your Honor.
N for identification. Has that been done? This is a question to the defense. On cross.
Page 53 of that transcript.
I want that
Your
whole
Honor.
document to be marked for identification. Has that been done?
Okay, I'll get that to the court this morning.
And just so the record is clear, as I understand it, that is a multi-page document of which Mr. Mootlu was asked to review a single page of, but it comprises a record of his police interview. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Are the parties ready to do the charge conference, recognizing that I haven't given you a draft yet because of the way things played out? I did stay last night and draft the jury instructions with the benefit of two things so far that I'd considered, or at least three things. One was what I had marked for identification the other day, which is the first 2 pages of the model homicide instructions. I'd asked each of the parties to mark up, so to speak, those 2 pages of the SJC's model instructions And so you did at my request, and I had the benefit of that information. I also received yesterday, Madam Clerk, if you could get me while I'm talking, the defendant's request for jury instructions concerning consciousness of guilt, emotional evidence, and bad acts. I had that, I considered that as I was drafting the draft instructions yesterday. And I'll talk to you about that. What I didn't do, and I sort of made a mental, because I ran out of steam, frankly, yesterday. I know that very early in the case, before the case started, that the Commonwealth had filed pleadings with regard to jury instructions. And I made a mental note to go back to those this morning, but I didn't frankly have a chance to do that since the day is unfolding a little differently than I expected at the end of yesterday. So I tell that to you so that you know that if there's something that you wrote in there that's still relevant now, it might still be, that I don't have that fresh in my mind anyway. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, said more bluntly, if there's something in there that I don't go over now that you want to persist with, just...
Your Honor, there is actually, with respect to the consciousness of guilt instruction, potentially. I don't know if it would make sense to take a brief break so that I could collect my notes on that topic.
All right. I will take a brief break before we, and what I'm going to intend is this. The draft instructions as I have them right now includes what I tried to do is, when I was scratching my head, saying to myself, why do they want this instruction in? I put it in anyway, and then I put it in italics so that should be your clue that I'm questioning either why this is in here. For instance, the object of the killing must be a human being that the defense has asked for. Question mark, why are they asking for that? So the italics either means you asked for it, I'm questioning why you want it, be prepared to answer that question. Or in the instance of the instruction, I have instructions drafted right now for, and this is in part 2 of the instructions, impeachment by prior conviction, impeachment by prior inconsistent statement, and impeachment by prior bad act. And in particular, in the prior bad act, I took a swing at attempting to fairly describe the evidence that's been presented to the jury with regard to the defendant's bad acts. I tried to do it neutrally, but there may be other words that you like better. So those are in italics, even though the whole instruction isn't in italics.
So basically what she's saying, anybody know anybody in Whitewater, Kansas? Me either. Okay. So basically what she's saying is, I wrote this out, and I know you're not going to agree with everything I say, so I'm putting it in italics. Or I want to remind myself to ask you why you want this in here, so I'm putting it in italics. So, okay, so basically the rest of this all the way up to 3 hours is them arguing back and forth. So tomorrow they will tell what is going on. I have already gotten the message I'm needed in Wichita, so I won't be able to be here. But I can pick up on it Monday, or I might come in tomorrow evening, later in the evening, and we'll discuss what's going on, what happened, what the charges were. Because I imagine tomorrow the jury's going to go out on deliberation. They're going to have the whole weekend. I do not see, I don't know. Do you see the jury coming back within an hour or two? Or do you see them staying out the whole weekend and coming back Monday? Because it depends on how they want to get paid for it. Because if jury stays in deliberation for the whole weekend, since they've already got, or by this time, by the end of today, when the jury goes into deliberation, I'll put it that way, they can't go home. If they do not find an answer at the end of Friday, all 16 jurors, because there's 12 on the stand and then there are alternates in case something happens to one of the 12. They all have to go into hotel rooms where they're supposed to be away from social media or anything that has to do with the case. So, I mean, they can't even go on court TV and find out what happened in the case. Okay? So, even though they're sitting there, why would they want to? But for me, I would probably be like, yeah, I wasn't really paying all that much attention. My mind was going somewhere else. I'm going to watch what happened today on court TV to refresh my mind, so in case I have any questions. Okay? But, yeah, they can't do that. So they would be out all weekend. If they do not find an answer by the close of day, Friday, they all have to go into hotel until Monday. And they can't deliberate over the weekend, to the best of my knowledge. They may be able to. If the judge says you can deliberate over the weekend, you can come back in the morning, deliberate. And if you find something, yay or nay, we can call the defendant back and we can close this on Saturday. If the judge is willing to do that on Saturday. And if that happens, then Brian Walsh would have to pay every person attending to that court, the judge, all of the law enforcement that's standing there, the bailiffs, anybody who is being paid by the courthouse would be getting paid by Brian Walsh that day, and that's on overtime. So I don't know if they want to do that. I mean, as a juror, I'd be, as an employee, I should say, I'd be okay with having to come back in on a Saturday or Sunday and get paid for being there on my day off. Because that means a bigger paycheck for Christmas morning. Okay, anyway. So, I don't want to go through the rest of this. I do want to know tomorrow what's going to happen. I don't see her talking to Brian at any point here. Oh, wait, he is talking. Hold on.
The 1-minute vision fix that eye doctors pray you never discover. If you've spent hundreds on multiple pairs of glasses and still can't
It out in the earlier paragraph. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. All right. Any other edits to that consciousness of guilt instruction? Recognizing the defendant doesn't want it, and that objection is noted and lodged.
Are you done?
I think she's done.
So, once again, I refer to our prior pleading. And on page 4,
yes,
I'm asking that be included. And I modeled that
trying to find the citation. I modeled that after what I believe to be the gist of a supplemental instruction 9:22, and it's the district court. And the heading for that supplemental instruction that's included refers to where evidence is of it, where such evidence is of another crime. It goes on to say, I caution you in considering such evidence that the defendant is not on trial for, then it has a blank intended,
Right.
and that's what I do.
But now that I'm moving down the other section that we just discussed, which far more in a more detailed fashion addresses that.
You mean in the prior?
Yes, because now that's going to sit right on top of this one.
Well, but I think that there are all of these other acts, and yes, they will get the prior bad acts if you juxtapose it before this instruction.
I actually think it's better right after it, as I'm thinking about it, because it leaves them with it puts them in that moment.
She's going to say, I want you to think about this, but I'm going to tell you not to think about this. Hold on.
And then you may not use it for this purpose. As you were arguing, I'm like, that's not going before, it should go after.
Right.
Because
But I guess I'm just pressing this supplement that's primarily based on this Model 9.
Okay, I guess she didn't talk to him. So basically, the only thing we got is closing arguments tomorrow and jury deliberation. So, and I won't be able to be here, but I'll come back Friday or tomorrow night maybe. I might come back tomorrow night. Depends on how long I got to be at my friend's house tomorrow. But I can, if I'm home on time, I'll set up a live and we'll go live when I get home. If I'm home in time. So, anyway, that's where we're going to go with that. Because I don't want to sit here for 3 hours listening to whatever and argue back and forth. I was busy doing other things in other places in my house while I was listening to, and I was on the phone with my husband. My mail came in today. See what we got. Okay, this is for CJ. Clearly I'm right. I'm Chris. Okay. That t-shirt's so soft. This one is also for CJ, I think. I don't know who this one's for. Okay, there's 3 t-shirts here. I don't know who this one will fit. I mean, it's size large, so it won't fit any men that I know. I might just keep it for myself. Because I'm not sure which me I am today. And since we all clearly know I'm off my meds, all right, then, oh, this bag has several things in it. This is supposed to be able to put on your head. Ouch! And you can see through it, but basically it's to keep your head warm. I don't know who I'm gonna give it to because I forgot that I had ordered it. And I ordered the person that I ordered this for something else because I forgot that I was going through all my Christmas gifts yesterday and I was like, I didn't get this person a gift. So this morning I went on and ordered something for him, and he's not going to get this thing. Well, I mean, I guess he still could, but this, when I saw it, I thought, okay. Then I found, then after I ordered it, I thought, okay, this is Nightmare Before Christmas. We can buy it. Amanda Panda will love it. Then when I really got to looking at it and realized what it was, I thought, well, maybe she would just like it for grinding, garlic or something. Can you grind garlic with this? I don't know. But, or maybe I do know some people that use what this is supposed to be grinded for. I might be able to just give it to somebody else. But it's really pretty. Okay, anyway, this is really pretty. And I might give it to my son-in-law or my brother-in-law, I should say. My hair's jacked up now. Unless Amanda Panda has a use or she just wants to put it on the shelf because it's Nightmare Before Christmas, so I don't know. That can be determined later. Then there's these. I didn't realize I could customize them, but I did. No, I didn't. The hat, yeah, Drew Wood could use that for hat. Okay. These 3 items are for your children, but they have their names on them. Can I show them? I don't want to get in trouble. Okay. Since they're all cheerleaders, I got them personalized. Thanks for. I thought they were cool. And then this one's for CJ. See? And this I got for CJ too. There. Because I'm Chris, that's why. It's such so soft shirt. I think you'll like those. Because he started going by Chris outside of home. The family, everybody in the family still calls him CJ, and his close friends still call him CJ. But at school and at work and everything, he's Chris. So I was talking to my friend Henry's daughter the other day, and I said, Chris. And she's like, who? I said, oh, CJ. She said, call him CJ. That's his name. So, and then this is trash. This I ordered for Butch And when it came in, I realized that it won't be good for Butch, so it's going to Henry's grandson. Okay, when I ordered this, I thought this black part was a cell phone. And I thought you mounted your cell phone here, and then you looked through this, and you could take astrological pictures with your cell phone camera. That's not what it's for. It's just a telescope. So I'm going to give it to Henry's grandson. So, because he's only 9 years old, and mentally he's like 8, 7. He's 10 going on 7, because his mother was not a good mother. And she didn't, he did not know right from wrong when Henry got him. He thought life was just watching YouTube, fast forwarding through all the commercials, and if there's a snack in the house, you eat it until all the snacks are gone, because you don't know when you're going to get the next snack. He would just put it on his camera over the lens. Right, but he has a camera lens that's like a telescope that attaches to the camera and does the same thing. So, because he said that he's got a couple $1,000s worth of camera equipment, and he still wants 2 more lenses. Anyway, so that's what I got from Temu. I ordered the 2 gifts, for one for my son-in-law and one for my brother-in-law, because I didn't think I had gotten either one of them gifts. My son-in-law, I know I haven't bought him anything yet. I do have something for him, but I haven't. I got it way back, okay? And my brother-in-law, I hadn't got him anything yet. So, but I won't be seeing my brother-in-law for Christmas. So it's going to be late. If his gift gets here late, it gets here late. That's just that simple. So, okay. Because I'm not mailing their Christmas down to them. I mailed the TV the Friday after. I mailed the TV the Friday after Thanksgiving, and it didn't arrive until Tuesday of this week, and it was supposed to have arrived Friday of last week, because it was 7 days, and it was only going to Arkansas, but it went to Arkansas by way of Colorado, and it was supposed to be in Arkansas on Friday the 5th. It didn't arrive until Tuesday of this week. On Friday the 5th at 5 p.m., so right on the button, I started getting messages from Arkansas. It's not here. It wasn't arrived. Can you check on it? So I run the tracking. I said it's stuck in Colorado. They'll get it shipped when they can get it shipped. It's in Colorado. So it's coming here. It's in Colorado. I said, give it tomorrow. See what it says. So 11 o'clock Saturday morning, I'm getting messages. It's not here yet. I checked the tracking and it says it's in Colorado. So that's what I told you last night. It's in Colorado. So Sunday, obviously, UPS don't run unless, well, it's closer to holidays. They might be now, but normally they don't run on Sunday. Monday, I'm getting messages. It's not here. Can you check on it? I checked on it. It has left Colorado. Okay? It left Denver. It's on its way to Arkansas. So it's on its way here. No, it's on its way to Arkansas. It might have to go through Little Rock before it gets back to Cave City. It's on its way to Arkansas. That's all I can tell you. Well, how am I going to know? I said, if you watch the tracking, if it shows up in Little Rock, that it got to a postal station in Little Rock, you'll probably get it tomorrow. That's all I can tell you. No, I didn't hear anything back from him. Not another word. Nothing. Till Tuesday morning, when my ex-daughter-in-law messages me, and she said, I want to thank you for the TV that you sent down here. We've been down on our luck, and as it happens, we weren't able to purchase one. And I said, oh, I'm glad it arrived. I said, I'm sorry it didn't have a remote. I said, I figure you can hook it to a Roku or get a universal remote. And she said, we can do that. That's not a problem. I said, well, I'm glad it's there. So then I messaged my grandson, and I said, your mom said your TV arrived. I said, you'll have to get a Roku. I said, Merry Christmas. And he said, literally, oh yeah, thank you. Do you think that grandchild is going to be on the top of my Christmas card list next year? This grandchild I have known since he was born. My daughter's children were not in our lives for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know exactly how many years they were. We weren't able to see them because of a mistake that was made when they were younger. When we did see them again, my granddaughter said, I said, I love you. And she said, I'm sorry, I really don't know who you are. And that broke my heart, but I understood. Now, those 3 children, as you can tell, are on the top of my grandchildren list. I know them, they know me, they know their mama. It's all a big, we're family again. But somebody that I thought was family all along, that could not even, that had no problem griping me out because something didn't arrive when they thought it should, didn't even think to say thank you in a proper manner. Oh yeah, thanks is not a proper thank you in my book. But I did message his daddy. I did not tell his daddy anything that was going on. I'm sure his mama will tell his daddy. They don't live together, they're divorced. But I wish his daddy would have been going to Arkansas for Thanksgiving. It was that simple. He even wanted me to turn around when we were on our way to Arkansas and come home and get the TV and drive it to him because he only lives 3 hours away from where we were going in Arkansas. I don't know, but he does kind of act like his dad. I mean, when you consider the fact that I've lived in Kansas since 2021 and haven't seen his dad yet. His dad lives, well, the town he lives in is only 25 minutes from here. So, his dad has chosen. It's genetics. Plus, his mom don't like me anyway. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. He got his gift. He got his Christmas. He could be happy or don't. But he got it. I did my thing. I paid $18 for the TV in Goodwill, and it cost me $40 to ship it. No, his hair's not red. But I do believe they get their feelings about family from one of my siblings that acts a lot like them. I'll just put it that way. One of my siblings. And I only have one sibling older than I am. But that's neither here nor there. I Christmas shop all year round. I'll start right after Christmas with my Temu orders or wherever I see I want, and I shop Goodwill all year long. So I try to be ready when a birthday comes along or when a Christmas comes along or when something comes along. If I need a gift, I try to be ready to have a gift available. I learned that from my third husband's mom. I wasn't allowed to Christmas shop all year long. I got told I went overboard. Oh my, no. I'm sorry. I beg to differ with that one. I do beg to differ with that one. You made suggestions, and yes, you did buy for your girls. But a lot of those purchases were not on your choice. You suggested them, then they were purchased. You didn't say we have to. Somebody else did. And then on top of that, that was the first Christmas you got to really spend with your girls since they were younger. Of course you're going to go overboard. I would have gone overboard. Trust me, I would have. But, and I think I did this year. Because those cheer things, they're going to end up, at the end of the day, I already have them here. You've seen them. But at the end of the day, they're going to, each one of them is going to cost over, because that's just part of the project. At the end of the day, each one of them is going to cost over $40. I'm still waiting on parts for those chair things. That's just part of it. Waiting on parts for those to come in. I had to special order some of the parts that go with that. And it's not. I got told, you need to stop ordering. But I have to. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Because I've already got this, and this. But I don't have this, and this. And I have to have this, and this because it goes with the other parts. And if I don't have all these parts, I can't put it all together. And if I can't put it all together, there ain't no sense in having none of it. Well, if you got to finish it, because you can't finish it. I said, well, someone's going to do it. Yeah, me. It's my year. You went over last year. I'm going to go over this year. No comment. I appreciate that statement. And I do. I know they love their grandchildren, don't get me wrong. But I don't see them going overboard, especially with the medical problems they've had this year. I don't see them going overboard, but I'll go overboard. I love my grandbabies. And now that CJ's 18, next year he won't be home. So he'll be on the one gift list because he ain't a child no more. He'll be on the one gift list or 2 gifts, whatever, you know. Some people can get put on the only if I'm going to see you list. I got a lot of people on that list, so I don't even bother buying for them. Oh, I know they won't go overboard, but they're getting gifts from all directions. I understand, and they deserve it. Yeah, we may end up taking turns. Oh, she can spoil them too. Yay. Okay, so they've got grandparents on both sides, then they've got you. Then I don't see their father going overboard to spoil them. But he's the type of person that might get that one big gift that's going to cost more than anybody else gets so that he can make him look better. He's that type. He strikes me as that type of person. But the way we were all raised is it doesn't matter the cost of the gift, it's the love behind it. And if somebody's going to give me a gift that's going to prove that I spent more than anybody else, then it ain't the love behind it, it's that I'm going to spend more. No, they said last year he gave them $100 and they were really upset that he didn't even think about what they would have wanted dinner after they. See, that is not putting your child first. Does he have stepkids? I don't know if he has stepchildren. But I don't know. In the late teen years, I'd be good. Oh, that's why she's trying to take yours away. Gotcha. I'm on the same page you are now. Okay, so I'm going to get off here because I got to get things ready for CJ to get home. He's going to want his chicken soup with garlic and onions. And he needs to help me move the couch. I got to move, and I got to move my truck so that we can move the couch. So he's not going to be happy having to carry that couch outside. But, oh well. It's got to go. Gotcha. But they do tolerate her, and I'm proud for them. They are one step above because they all tolerate her, and they all treat her with respect, even for who she is. That's great girls. You have some great girls. You did a good job with them. All right, I'm gonna get off here. I love you. If I can get here, we'll check to see if the jury's in. Gotcha. If I can get here in time, we'll check to see if the jury's in. I'll try to come on tomorrow. If not, I'll be stuck in Wichita until who knows when. Of course, I might be able to say, well, I got to get home and make sure CJ's got supper. Because he's been asking for chicken soup. That's been easy peasy lemon squeezy this week because he's sick. But I might actually need to cook something tomorrow. So, all right. Yeah, I don't have anything else that I got to state. So, do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile, and search for crime. Love y'all. Love you. Love you.